Hello, and welcome to EcoSAP to understand economics better. In the previous part, we defined economics and studied its scope. In this video, we are moving forward to know the subfields of economics. Although there is actually only one economics, the overall field, it is divided into two areas which in turn are very broad: microeconomics and macroeconomics. Microeconomics is the branch of economics which is concerned with the behavior of individual entities such as markets, firms, and households. It deals with the output of particular goods and services by single firms or industries, and with spending on particular goods and services by single households or by households in single markets. The unit of study is a part rather than the whole. For example, there is a firm which produces drinking mineral water. Microeconomics seeks to explain how the single firm determines the selling price for this particular product, or what amount of output or product produced will maximize profits, and how it determines the lowest cost combinations of inputs or factors of production. These will be properly explained in the theory of production. It also determines how an individual consumer determines the distribution of his or her total spending among the many products like food, clothes, etc., and services available like education, health services, etc., so as to maximize utility. In its approach, microeconomics essentially assumes the total output, total employment, and total spending for all goods and services given. It then proceeds to examine how output and employment are allocated among various individual industries and firms within industries, and how the prices of the various products of these individual firms are established. Let's say a person drinks tea regularly in the morning, and for some reason he's changing his habit of drinking tea and switches to warm milk. Microeconomics asks how shifts in consumer spending from product of one industry to another will cause output and employment of inputs to be reallocated among different goods and services and among different industries and firms. Adam Smith is usually considered the founder of microeconomics. Smith considered how individual prices are set, identified the remarkable efficiency properties of markets, and explained how self-interest of individuals working through a competitive market can produce a societal economic benefit. Microeconomics today has moved beyond the early concerns to include the study of monopoly, the role of international trade, finance, and other vital subjects. The other major branch of our subject is macroeconomics, which is concerned with the overall performance of the economy. The term macroeconomics applies to the study of relations between broad economic aggregates. It is that part of economics which studies the overall averages and aggregates of the system. It is a study of the forces or factors that determines the levels of aggregate production, employment, and prices of an economy and the rates of change over time. But none of these statements or any other short statements that could be given satisfactorily defines the term. All such explanations emphasize the idea that macroeconomics deals with the functioning of the economy as a whole, including how economy's total output of goods and services, the price level of goods and services, and the total employment of the resources are determined, and what causes these magnitudes to fluctuate. It also seeks to explain why the total of goods and services produced grows at an average rate of 4% per year in one decade and at an average rate of 2% in another, or why in some time period that price level rises sharply, while as in others it remains stable or even falls. In short, macroeconomics attempts to deal with the truly big issues of economic life. full employment, capacity or undercapacity production, a satisfactory or unsatisfactory rate of growth, inflation or price level stability. Macroeconomics did not even exist in the modern form except until 1936, when John Maynard Keynes published his revolutionary General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money. At this time, England and US were still stuck in the Great Depression of 1930s, with over 1/4 of American labor force unemployed. Today, macroeconomics examines a wide variety of areas, such as how total investment and consumption are determined, how central banks manage money and interest rates, what causes international financial crises, and why some nations grow rapidly while others stagnate. Although macroeconomics has progressed far since his first insights, the issues addressed by Keynes still define the study of macroeconomics today.